audio, Max Headroom, and the squid just came on live. I don't know if I've got a good signal. It seems like this view might be screwing up. Maybe the antenna's on this side of the camera. I don't know. Greetings, campers. All right, a lot of stuff happening. I am probably going to come back later and do one of those late night shows. Well, now. Important links, only 6. First, I'm going to rip through them real quick, and I'll tell you the full moon. It looks like a full moon, almost full tonight. I think it's after midnight. Bright winter moon. I walked Piglet, and the moon was up, and it was amazing. Check it out here on the East Coast. It's a little after 7. If you get a chance to see it, it's very white. It's white light. And how does that line go? And a new day will dawn for those who stand long. I like that. And he's got the forest echoing with laughter. It has that kind of natural feel. Or is he talking about hobbits? I don't know. You decide. First link is an amazing interview done by Spiro with Pam Popper. Yay, Pam. This is a brilliant interview. It's worth watching the whole thing. And I had a good chat with Sibel today, and I told her, you need to watch it. She said she watched the beginning. I said, watch the whole thing, because Pam is doing what Sibel wants to be doing. We have the comments on. The chat should be on here. So if not, let me know if the audio is okay, because I did a couple of hard yanks on this cord. Somebody leave me a comment. Say something. Give me a thumbs up. Testing. 1, 2. All right. Anyway, this is brilliant. There we go. Good. Comments there. Holy cats. And Joanne Plunkett. Good, good, good. 5 by 5. Excellent. First link, Spiro and Pam. Must watch and share. She explained this when we did the interview on my channel. In fact, it's on this channel. Scroll back. I know we had like a month off, but you'll see it there. That was a good interview. This one, they've made much further yardage in the Ohio lawsuit, and she had announced on her channel, and I shared the link with you last week, where the new case in New Mexico was filed with the updated information, knowledge, and experience gleaned from the first one. So it's like second edition is a little stronger. Plus, those attorneys joined with the attorneys from the Ohio case and sued, oh boy, Redfield and the CDC, and sued what's his name, Azar at HHS. And there was another component in there. Is it the Bureau of Statistics and Measurement, or no? It was something like that, dealing with the definition of COVID deaths. Interesting. Plus, those 1 through 20. A little room for expansion, yes? Lovely. This is a great discussion. It also talks about her building her database and how this will give leverage to express to representatives, both state and federal, about the demonstration of power, because that's all these clowns appreciate is brute force. And as she says, if the guy won by 1,200 votes and you've got 5,000 people on an issue, and you're saying, hey, guess what? These people want this or they don't want that, and here's a list of them to show you I'm not bullshitting. The bottom line is, go this way or we're taking you out of this game. They will respect that, okay? That is an engaged citizenry, but it requires leadership. Now, what the slimes on the left, the slither, has done for the last 20 years is more than that, but the last 20, they have been being funded operationally, structurally, with millions of dollars organizing. I mean, Vilma and I both managed to get copies and access to the Resist movement and the Sunshine movement, and Diamond found some of this stuff. And it was all very organized with different little splinter groups all dancing to the same piper, as it were, Sorosburg, right? Yeah. Hey, Jacqueline, how you doing? The squid are up and running. You know why? Because They only come out at night. I could tell because the moon was up. Anyway, this is a great interview. Take it, put it out there. Her website, Pam, I'm talking about, is Make Americans Free Again. That's where the database is. Take a listen. If you like it, go plug in. She also has this newsletter she puts out. She calls it the Forbidden Newsletter. I've got to give her a call. My problem is I have not finished reading the lawsuit. Which one is this? This is in the District Court of Ohio, right? This is the big case, and I need to read that. Honestly, I haven't had time to sit for 1 hour peacefully and read. So perhaps I will get that done this evening. All right. The second link is disturbing, and this link should be sent to Trump. This is a nurse who gets Bell's palsy after her vaccine, or at least she's saying so, okay? And of course, she has her mask on, and then she takes the mask off, and it's lovely. The third link, and it speaks for itself, it's a short video. Send that to people who want to run out and get their vaccines. And remember the data that's out there from Vernon Coleman. And he was saying out of 112,000 vaccines that were given, we had 3,100 or so, what do they call them? Adverse health effects, which is a debilitating injury, meaning unable to perform your standard life actions and or unable to work. So that's not what I would call an adverse health effect. That's a very serious debilitating health effect. So that's almost 3%. Considering your risk of death on this dopey COVID nonsense is 0.03, this is 100 times more dangerous. Work the math, right? Unbelievable. Link number 3 here is the CDC, this is out of Epoch's Time, sets new guidance on COVID-19 vaccinations for people with underlying medical issues. You've got to read this and listen to this horse shit because, and I think in here, because I found another one, I believe it's in here, where our fearless fool, Fauci, ooh, it rings, the Triple F Club, is now saying, well, those earlier numbers on the percentage of population requiring a vaccine to establish herd immunity was a guesstimate. Well, he's already admitted he's lied to us about not wearing the face mask because he didn't want people to grab all of that personal protective gear from frontline workers, so it's okay for him to lie to manipulate. And that's what this is, a manipulation. Now, he's moving the number up. Yeah, it's 50%, 70%, 80, 85 to 90% is a guesstimate. And he has the audacity to lie to our face and say, well, we're learning from the data and the information. No, what he's learning, I suggest to you, is that the number of Americans who don't want to participate voluntarily is a lot less, or the numbers who don't want to is a lot higher. Okay, so therefore, he's got to push this higher. And as a good pitch man for the pharmaceutical industry, and he's pitching our government and handing out the crap, saying 90% has to get that vaccine. Unbelievable. Take a read at that article, campers. And I'm thinking a tweet to Trump. Fauci is defrauding you and the American people. Are you aware of it or are you supporting it? Boom. And Azar is also defrauding it. Or maybe something like, Azar, Redfield, Fauci, and Birx are criminals. They should be arrested. What do you think, Don? Do you think so? Or should you just hire them and give them a Christmas bonus? Now, there's a lot of stuff breaking. Evidently, Congress right now is voting to override Trump's veto on what? Now, which one was this? The COVID stimulus crap? But I thought he just signed that. So there was something that he didn't sign and that they're trying to veto. Maybe it's the NDAA. Great. And that will allow them to remove his ability to use the Insurrection Act. So tell me this isn't planned. These are traitors. Wow. Wow. This is why I have to come back again later, because this needs to be looked at. All right, now, that's the third link, is new guidance on COVID. The fourth link, and I have them numbered for you, so let's not get spoiled, campers. Number 4, Pompeo. This is great. Ed and Vic. Ed sent me this last night. This is Pompeo. This is fascinating. But again, man, my squid went off. Hang on a second. We got to get this squid back on. There we go. The squid will turn on in a second. There we go. We have the mountain view. Okay. Here's the deal. Pompeo is speaking at the National Governors Conference. Piglet just strolled in. And what he's saying to them, this is back in February, and he says to them about the Chinese influence. He says, look, there is the Friends of China, and I forgot what they're called, but he said, we know, and there are lists in China who are friendly, who are hardliners, Americans, and who are like undecided. It's about an 18-minute speech, and he speaks to the governors and saying, and we know who's on that list. Many of you are on that. And he's saying, my verbiage was, guide yourself accordingly. But he's saying, sure, China can benefit your state, but dealing with China could influence federal national policy of dealing with China. So rather than saying, remember, you took an oath to uphold your Constitution, no, he doesn't say that. He posits it in, well, it'll make my job more difficult because I've got meetings to do with Barr and Gina Haspel. Because Gina, of course, was the head of the London Bureau. She was the London Bureau chief while Crossfire Hurricane was going on. So she was thoroughly briefed in it by Brennan and by MI6. But Bill Barr says nothing happened before. When was it? September of 16. And remember, there is no evidence. We haven't seen any evidence of any fraud that would have impacted the results of the election. And then he resigns and strolls off. I've got another article for you later that I'm reading that I'll definitely have to come back. But let me think about that for a second. Yeah, and Durham. Oh, yes, trust Sessions. Somebody was promoting the virtues of Q. Who was the guy that Sessions hired that was the secret weapon out in Utah who was doing the report? Anybody remember his name? Whatever happened to him? Whatever happened to that report? It was disengagement. Disengage because someone else will take care of it. Oh, yeah. Trust Sessions. Uh-huh. Okay. Pompeo at the governor's conference. Huber, thank you. Very important. No, holy cats, not the hammer. It was Huber. What is his name? That was Tom DeLay was the hammer, right? Oh, wait, you're talking about software with scorecard? You don't need either one. All you need is the local election counter person to have the adjudicated balance with the Dominion machines. This is a feature. It's not a hack. It's designed that way, right? Right. Okay. So listen, Pompeo at the governor's conference. Very important stuff. So open these up in a new tab. Don't wander too far away from the FJ because all of these are like booms, all right? And then, Sibel Edmonds. This is something she sent to me today because we didn't cancel it. We rescheduled our discussion yesterday, and that was on me because I was completely fried and couldn't do it. I said, we need to reschedule. I was looking to see if we could do it Tuesday or Wednesday. She said next Sunday. I said, okay, fine. We had a chat, and I said, listen, you need to have, and I need to be clear, what the, what shall we call it, blueprint is, what the strategy is, and what the steps are. If you listen to Pam Popper, which I am sure you will do, the first link, she explains it. Very good. Sibel has a plan, but personally, I don't like being told, okay, turn left here. Okay, and after I turn left there, where do I go? Well, I'll tell you when to turn. No. I want to know where I'm going before I get on the road. But that's just me. Otherwise, you could follow breadcrumbs into a cage, right? At any rate, this is a very cool thing. This is from 2006. Sibel got an award for the, I think they call it the Penn Award, for First Amendment right and standing up for free speech. And this is about a 5-minute, a little mini documentary about her and her challenge all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And what's amazing is when the court refused to rule on that very day, like while they were doing this, the, what should we call it, the fascia or some of the stone on the pillars in front of the court crumbled and fell off. So did that indicate that justice has been destroyed and undermined? This is profound shit. So this is a good little clip. And I must tell you, she told me today that Twitter on her account, I don't know if they killed it or they suspended it, they put it on hold for what she's calling, they're calling suspicious activity. Oh, good. Yeah. She's had that account for what, 10 years? And now they're calling it suspicious activity. Yes, she was FBI translator as a contract translator because of her multiple languages. And nobody at the FBI had, I think it was Farsi and Azerbaijani and Turkish, and she was translating stuff. But that's in this little mini documentary on link number 5. It's about 4 minutes long. It's excellent, including little clips of congresspeople and senators and high-ranking government officials talking about her great work, and a couple of little clips of her, and clips of the broken stone fallen from the U.S. Supreme Court onto the steps. Wow. Very good. And the last link is number 6, which is Sibel's opt-in page on her Constant Contact thing. And I asked her, I said, what is that? Because I want to put it up. She had sent me another little video that she did, which I haven't finished yet. It's called about cutting off the head of the snake. But what they're doing is, I hope we have audio here. There we are. They are limiting her access, right? They're nailing Twitter. They're nailing YouTube. She's got 2 YouTubes and a couple of Twitters, and this is not cool. So I would jump on the list, particularly Florida people. She said she had more people on the list from the east coast of Florida than out of Naples. I'm like, well, yeah, man, I promoted you over here months ago, okay? So this is good. So I will do it again. And I have no idea of our local Floridians snag this, punch in, and she put out an email. And I had opted in the other day, but I guess they changed it. And she put out a newsletter, like a one-pager, on the action plan. So I am going to resubscribe to that. We're going to see how we're going to coordinate this. And my thinking, between you, me, and the lamppost, I want to speak with Pam and see if we can get Sibel involved in that and maybe group up. Pam is also doing conferences, teaching how to organize groups and driving the groups and then going and spinning off new groups. In the female perspective, it's making babies, right? New groups. In Farmer Jones's thing, seeds are being planted and growing. Well, now. So I think it's a good thing that that's happening. All right? And that's what I've got for you at this exciting episode. I appreciate the reduced emails and the comments being posted in the links. And yeah, there's some other stuff. The mayor of Nashville thinks that the Target, this is hilarious, it's too stupid to believe, he thinks that the Target may have been the AT&T building. And now the FBI has determined that the guy who was the person of interest was, in fact, the burnt body in the RV. And then, of course, the footage that we've seen, and there's different ones. There's one on Twitter that I think is at 2 different camera angles, and I think that's a little shady. The one that I put up was not showing the explosion happening across the street from the van. But somebody just put one up. There was a street view, and they ran it forwards and backwards. It was very interesting. It's pretty clear to me, at least in my opinion, in my perceptions, when people spit in your face and tell you it's raining, that this explosion did not occur in the van. And if it did, how did they find anything of this guy? How does he have a burnt body as opposed to being blown to smithereens? Just curious, you know what I mean? But it's Lee Harvey Fishmonger is there. Now, to make a little light of this, which really isn't light, evidently in the article in Epoch Times, and I hope you guys snag that app because there's good stuff coming out. They say that the owner of the house, the person of interest who is now purportedly dead and burnt to death in his van, which blew up half of the block, but he's just sitting there, I guess, handcuffed to his steering wheel. I don't know. He deeded his property to a woman in California. They do not identify the woman or where she was at. So I'm thinking, gee, I wonder if this was a psychologist in the Stanford department over there. What was that? Blasey Ford was there, and her husband was helping to do drugs to help children overcome post-traumatic stress. Really? Does that sound like an ultra type experience? I don't know. Maybe this guy was an ultra guy and he deeded property and be nice to know who got deeded that property. But she didn't sign the papers, and who was that purpose, right? Jacqueline, are you playing bingo? Look at that, bingo. RV picks reflect two, what? Let me see, two different RVs, so which is an edit? There's a bunch of different stuff. And that's not what blew up. Not the way I see it. Anyway, that's what I've got for you campers. I did do a major upgrade into the Patreon account, and everybody's got their data. And I'll post this over there momentarily, and I'm going to have to come back later tonight. I did not get a chance to look at Ed's formatting over there. He's got a very cool group thing. And might be able to set that up and spin off groups within a groups. It's formatted behind, kind of like Facebook, but it's not Facebook. So you have the ability to have groups and conversations, public and private. And my thought is, and let me know what you think in the comments, please, open it up for Farmer Jones, set up groups for Florida, a group, and then whoever's showing interest into the database on the activist groups who want to join and fight mandatory vaccines, get a bill passed that says no mandatory vaccines under the 10th Amendment, states' rights. And that needs to be done both two ways. One, with pressure to local legislators, let them know you are a constituent and you do not want mandatory vaccines. You want it banned, number one. Number two, a massive physical showing at the beginning of their session in March, demanding support. I guess at this point it's Sabatini's bill, and I'll discuss that further with you, probably with Vilma, taking the bill, how to track the bill, and how to locate your local guys. So a little training, education, and create the activism, and we can roll this mofo. Okay? Now, let me give a quick comment here. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I've spoken to a bunch of people. This business of Sydney not being able to get hold of Trump, I think is, I don't know, smokescreen. I don't understand why. I don't like the way this is going. I personally don't believe Trump has the testicular fortitude to declare martial law. If this thing is vetoed, he can't use the Insurrection Act. And I want to know, evidently the Supreme Court has scheduled a hearing on the voter fraud question in the election for after the inauguration. I'm looking at that, and we'll come back and talk about it. Let me see who's saying this. Sitting at the White House. Seems like hair pulling. I don't know. No, she was there. There's no doubt about it. The fact that she can't reach him. Now, I'll put this to you. Just because, and even if it's true, they didn't give her an office, and they didn't give her a pass. Okay, so what? At these work-at-home Zoom meeting times, she doesn't need to be in the White House to be special White House counsel, does she? No. So, it can cut both ways. Again, you decide. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you like it, subscribe. I'm going to leave you on that. I thank you for the support for the channel. We need to keep the boat afloat. You can join well, I have it reversed here. PayPal for direct contributions, a one-time shot. They come directly to me. Leave a comment, and I do owe some thank you notes to people for going back several days. I have been remiss in my response because the busyness over here has been nuts. I'm getting worn out and exhausted, right? Then, of course, the Patreon account, at whatever number works for you, help support the channel, and it all helps the cause. And I thank you all for your support, and I will be back at you later. Oh, I got a response from Corey up there at Congilio. Evidently, the first email missed. He said he didn't change it. It was Udemy, which is the training course. He said, so it was no Christmas magic. I said, so it was Christmas luck. I said, you don't want me to tell them that you don't believe in Santa Claus, do you, Corey? I said, luck is magic now, isn't it? So anyway, good stuff. That was Udemy did a Christmas gift. I'm glad I didn't buy it at full price. I was seriously stressed over that. So we got it at the discount, and it's a good little course. Perfect from what I needed. Sydney is no angel. Neither is Greg Allman. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Ladies and gentlemen, the Allman Brothers Band. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long. Right? Say goodbye to the squids. FJ out.